So, the plague tried to take me over the weekend, as I said before. The throat is raspy, but the WoW news and the updates wait for nobody. So here we are. Let's get into it. This week in WoW, we got some cool stuff going down. Don't pay attention to this damn brew mount. Yes, it is now a store mount. It was once free. It was once on the trading posts, and now you got to pay like 20 bucks to get it. If you want it, go ahead and get it. I'm not going to judge you, but yeah, it's a store mount now. All the way until November 4th, you'll be able to get that thing. We got Arena World Championship going on. The best of the best competing for $400,000, or their share of it, split up amongst their team. So that's a pretty cool thing to watch. You can always check it out on Twitch and YouTube. That'll be going on all the way until November 17th. So those tournament dates are right here. If you want to check it out, you can go ahead and do that. And then character restoration updates. We talked about this. The character restorations with only a 60-second delay. Usually these things aren't allowed for a couple days, a 7-day cooldown period. Well, that won't exist until October 15th. So if you want to restore some characters without the cooldown period, you can go ahead and do that for like one more week. So deleted by accident, restored. There you go. Moving on, the Darkmoon Faire, yes, is back. And Darkmoon Faire is open once again, so get in there. You guys know what that means. Time to grind some reputation. And don't forget, when you hit level 24 on any of your reputations, you get an enchanted rune harbinger crest, I should say. And that's important for crafting, so you can get 4 of those in total, right? You got 4 reputations. All the way up to level 24 will give you 4 of these enchanted rune harbinger quests. I keep saying quests. Crests, I should say. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Pause the blurps. Oh shit. That was coming in hot and loud. Who is that? Burning Viking. Thank you for blowing my ears and my dick off this early in the morning. Here we go, back into this. Completing any profession quest will give you 2 Khazalgar profession skills and 3 Khazalgar profession knowledge. And then he abuses you, and then he shows you love, coming in with the sub.
13 months long, baby.
My god, 13 months. Thank you so much, Burning. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, again, these will give you some nice profession knowledge and skill, as well as the fact that you're going to be gaining reputation along the way and getting yourself closer to getting those crests that I talked about earlier. Also, don't forget to ride the rides, guys. Riding the ride will give you a 10% reputation buff. The buff does fall off if you die, but if you can get yourself to stay alive, of course, going around and doing things with this reputation buff is pretty nice. 10% extra just for riding the ride, so go ahead and get that done as well. Moving on to the celebration event. Yes, guys, this is just around the corner. End of the month, we will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of WoW with all the in-game goodies that are coming. Now, there's a lot of goodies coming. And those goodies are going to cost you some bronze celebration tokens. And now we know how we're going to get those because the PTR testing has revealed a lot to us. So here we go. How are we going to get these bronze tokens? Well, first things first, you're going to want to do the opening quest lines and things for the whole event that's going down. So the anniversary introduction quest will give you 4 of them. And then the Blackrock Depths raid that's coming out will give you 5 once you complete that and turn in the quest for that. So those are some quick ways to get it, just one-off things. And then after that, you'll basically be doing some dailies, some weeklies. Those both involve the event itself and a bunch of Khazalgar dailies and weeklies going down as well. That'll give you bronze. Just look on your map, see which ones give you that. Of course, there are the 20th anniversary weeklies as well, and then some different achievements that'll give you certain things. One thing that people did notice is only the first completion on your warband for each of these things will give you bronze. So this is not going to be, these are warband currencies, so this will not be something that you can log on to 15 different alts and then triple up on your currencies, right? This is an account-wide thing, so if you're doing currency-related quests on one toon, you won't be able to go do it on another. Now here, this is important. Earning 100 of these tokens will give you the achievement Token Collector, which will allow you to do repeatable activities for tokens as well, like the mount-off stuff, like the fashion stuff, and a bunch of other things. Those will start to reward you with more of these tokens once you've hit 100, so that kind of boosts you off to basically get everything else that you want to get. Now, of course, the number one thing everyone's going to use these tokens for is the ensembles. That's right, the tier 2 revamps. Those are going to cost you 60 each. So we talked about how to get some of these. It's going to require a bit of grinding early on, that's for sure. But once you get the first one and maybe get 100 tokens in total, you'll be able to get these a little bit easier. So 60 of these will give you your first ensemble. If you unlock a second one, you'll get the achievement Classy Dresser, which is for getting two tier armor sets. So that's a nice little achievement there. Beyond that, there's going to be mounts. You're going to want to get the Corehound's the most expensive one, and the Obsidian World Breaker. I actually have both, but if you haven't been around playing WoW for a long time, you probably don't have them. So 20 for each of those. The Blizzard Baby Bear, Onyxia Whelpling, these are some pets you'll be able to get for 10. And then a few other things, some extras here. The 20th anniversary balloon chest, the little Doom Hunter guy that we talked about before. All of these will cost you 10. And a bag of Time Warp badges will cost you 1. Don't forget, Time Warp badges will be giving you some other stuff. So you'll be able to use those currencies to get a few other things that are going down, including some old things that are usually available through Time Warps that haven't been for a while. So that's pretty nice. But speaking of Time Warp badges, you won't be able to get reputation tokens for old PvP reputations anymore. That's right. This will be going away in 11.0.5. So if you've been grinding old reputations for PvP, that's going to be a thing of the past. I can't understand. Are you guys fucking ripping on my voice right now? What's going on? Sam's throat issues this morning. Yes, the throat issues are bad. The Scourge Plague is trying to take me. But I'll purge a city if I have to get through it. I don't care. Here we go with some Time Warp badges, of course. There are a few other things you can get with these. But all of these reputations, yeah, they'll be gone. So you'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, basically running these old PvP events over and over to grind out your reputations. So if you have any Time Warp badges you want to use on those now, you might want to do it while you still can. Now, this week's reset is insane. I'm actually shocked. All these changes are going to affect this week. So you know what we're talking about? We've been talking about a lot of the class changes that are going to affect in 11.0.5. And no, it's not cocksucking. Damn it. 11.0.5 giving you a lot of new changes to your classes. Well, Blizzard, they decided we're going to start the party early. They're giving us a ton of class changes this reset. That's right. If you're watching this video already late or something, October 8th's reset will be kicking in all of these class changes. And if your class is on this list, you're getting buffed. These are all buffs across the board. I don't know what Blizzard, the buff Santa Claus came around and gave everybody Christmas presents early. So here it is. It looks like Blizzard looked at a lot of the maybe the hero classes that are not being chosen a lot and then decided to buff them. So here it is. Blood Decay, Sand Laying. Nobody's playing it as a blood right now. So there are tons of increases in terms of damage you're seeing here, healing, all kinds of stuff. Big buffs. Look at this. 20% for Inflict Sorrow was 15. 30% damage increase across the board for Vampiric Strike. That's pretty big. Havoc Demon Hunter, the Aldrauchi Reaver getting a freaking 100% damage bonus. What the hell? 100% increase to Warblade's Hunger. That's crazy. You're talking about, that's an insane amount of buffing there. I guess nobody's playing that right now. And then Vengeance, we see Fell Blood getting increased by 20%. Another increase to Soul Barrier here. The Absorb increased by 100%. That's really big. For Druids, we got Feral Wild Stalker. The vines will now grow on single target is unchanged, but slightly increased when Rip and Rake are on multiple targets. So there you go, a nice little increase to some AoE there for Bloodseeker Vines. And then we see a Burning Growth 10% increase. A Restoration also seeing Inhaling increase at 5% across the board. And your Cenarian's Award hit increased by 40%. Evokers, thank you for the bits, Burning. I appreciate that. Because your class is buffed, Sam, doesn't mean you won't stop falling off the map. That's true. I am the Edgelord after all. Evoker. Augmentation, getting buffed. Devastation, getting buffed. Preservation, getting buffed. That's right. If you're playing Flame Shaper, you're getting buffed. And if you're playing Augmentation using Blitzer Scales, that got buffed. So a nice little buff across the board for them. Hunter, Beast Mastery, Ballistic Collar, Kill Command, Pet Damage, all buffed. There was a damage buff here, damage reduction, I should say, for Ballistic Collar. Damage bonus per damage over time has been reduced to 2 to 4%, was 5 to 10. So there's one little nerf there that we've seen so far, but overall still getting buffed. Frostfire getting buffed across the board for mages. They really want mages to start playing Frostfire. This is like the 3rd or 4th buff I've seen to this, so that's pretty good for that. For Monk, we see damage buff here. For Mastery of Harmony, Brewmaster getting buffed across the board as well. Nice little increases for them. And then Mistweaver also seeing a buff. Coalescence now, an aspect of Harmony is increased damage and healing taken by 30%. Big boost there. Aspect Harmony now stores 30% of healing done was 20. I think Windwalker is also getting a buff here. Conduit of the Celestial Conduit now scales its damage with Mastery. So that's a nice buff as well. For Paladin, Holy, all healing reduced by 5%. That doesn't affect PvP, but the rest of this, Lightsmith, all getting buffed across the board. That's a big thing. Sexy voice, thank you. Finally, someone's being nice. A Peppermint maybe would help. Protection, all damage increased by 6%. That's big. I've seen people complaining about prop paladins not doing too good lately. Well, that's a nice big buff for them. You can read through the rest of these as well. These are all big buffs. I mean, we're talking about, look at this. For Lightsmith, tons of big buffs. Blessed Assurance, increased damage on your next Crusader strike, increased by 200%, was 100. That's a freaking doubling right there. And I'm just reading one of them. These are tons of buffs across the board for Lightsmith. They want you to take Lightsmith. And then for Retribution, Templar, seeing all kinds of buffs. That's right. Some of these effects are lasting longer now, like Shake the Heavens, and Sanctification. Those durations have been increased for those. And then just big damage buffs everywhere. Damage buff, damage buff, damage buff. Just tons of damage buffs for Retribution Paladins in the Templar form, of course. Again, it looks like Blizzard just looked at the hero talents that aren't being picked and decided to buff them. We see here for Shadow Priest, Mind Blast increased by 10%, Shadow Ward increased by 10%, Void Bolt 10%, and then a bunch of Void Weaver talents increased across the board. They want you to play Void Weaver, and they're going to buff it. Rogue, Assassination getting some love as well. And not to mention their 2-set and 4-set bonuses for Rogues getting buffed as well. We talked about this previously. Rogue set bonuses haven't been that good. Well, they're getting buffed now, so they should be much better. Outlaw Rogues, all abilities increased by 4%. Dispatch damage increased by 10%. Big buffs for Outlaw there. An increase across the board by 4% is pretty damn big. Shaman, Restoration, doing good things. Shamans have been getting a lot of love lately. I don't think they need many buffs, but they continue to buff them anyways. So reduced damage taken there by Earth Shield for them. More survivability, that's pretty nice. And a decrease here. Acid Raid damage reduced by 20%. So one of the few nerfs on this list. There you go, Acid Raid doing a little bit. Isn't it Acid Rain? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Doing a little bit less. Warlock, Demonology, damage increases across the board. And a 20% damage dealing increase from your Doom Guards as well. So that's pretty good. And then here we got, last but not least, Warrior. Hero talents, Colossus. We see the increase in damage dealt here. Another Colossus buff. And then Mountain Thane getting buffed a couple times as well. I don't know who's not picking Mountain Thane already. That's a great one. But it's going to get even better. And then Slayer. Looks like Cyclone bonus Bladestorm damage reduced by 10%. Was 20, and then we see Opportunist now increased damage and critical strike damage on your next Overpower Raging Blow by 20%, was 30. So there we go. And then Furry, the Furry Warrior, we see there are 2-set bonuses and 4-set bonuses doing a little bit better there, so that's pretty good, getting buffs to those. Mountain Thane doing a little bit better, actually generating more rage, and then a couple other buffs here to damage for the Furry Warrior Mountain Thane version. And then last but not least, Protection Warrior. Thunderblast generates 8 rage, was 10, so a little bit less there, a little bit less rageful, I should say. The rest of these changes are PvP related. I'll link this all in the chat if you guys want to read these. I usually don't go through the PvP notes, but this will be linked down below too in the YouTube video, so you guys can check those out. And then last piece of news here, Orlando Salvatore. If you don't know him, now you will. The man behind Plunderstorm, Mop Remix, Follower Dungeons, and one of the lead software engineers at Blizzard Entertainment is departing. That's right, this man created some really good stuff for the game. Sad to see him go. He probably got picked up by some other dev company, but he created some really good stuff. I hope we see Plunderstorm again. I would say Plunderstorm, Mop Remix were both amazing events. Hopefully he taught people before he left how to do this kind of shit, because those are really fun. And good luck to him and his journeys forward. Yeah, boo indeed. He was a pretty good dev for sure with some of the stuff he made. we'll have to see if these kinds of events continue to happen. I'm sure they will going forward.